Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the first book in the Bears of the Ice series by Kathryn Lasky. This is Quest of the Cubs. So in order here, the Guardians of Ga'Hoole go first, then these, and then the Wolves of Beyond. Unfortunately, I mixed them up. So in this book, it starts out where you have a mother bear, mother polar bear here. And she has two young cubs that are called First and Second. They have not been named yet because of where they live, which is not where she's from. She's from the south where Ga'Hoole is, which is the reason she knows how to read and write. That's important. She has two young cubs. They're called First and Second. It's a boy and a girl. And these two bigger bears come and say, your children have been requested. We're here for your cubs. We're going to take them to this time thing. And she's like, no. And they're like, what are you going to do about it? And she's like, take me. I can read and write. And they're like, fine. You have like 3 days to deal with your cubs. So she teaches them to hunt. She gives them to her cousin, who's actually pretty nasty, and then she goes with them. And what happens to her is she's taken to this giant clock, and I'm going to kind of skip around because she jumps intermixed in her story. So I'm just going to give her story linearly, rather than jumping between her and the cubs. So she's writing, basically doing math calculations. She has no idea what the heck they're for. And she sees young cubs that are starving. They're constantly talking about sacrifice and what the heck is going on. She asks too many questions. She's put in solitary confinement. And this young cub comes to her in her dreams. He's a ghost. And he tells her what's going on. They are the sacrifice. They are basically walk this wheel all the time. If they get hurt, it doesn't matter. They're killed regularly as a sacrifice to this clock, which they are now treating as a god. And they realize she's intelligent and that she can see them and that she might be able to help them destroy the clock. Meanwhile, the cubs are staying with their mother's cousin who's starving them. She already has two cubs. One that she favors, one she calls third, and then she's calling these other two cubs fourth and fifth. Well, they don't like this. She refuses to feed them. So they vamoose. And they try to hunt for themselves. They run into this blind bear who's helping some other bears who are hunting under the ice. And he tells them he escaped, that he had his eyes torn out by these bears who would come for them. Now, right now, they don't know where their mother went. They don't know anything about this clock. Their mother told them she has to go to some mythical place. They're trying to find their dad, who's supposed to have gone to the hunting grounds. And so this bear tells them, it's like, no. You don't need to go to where these bears are hunting. You need to go find somewhere else because they're not going to like you. So then they end up on an ice floe with a seal that's being attacked by killer whales. The killer whales will eat the baby bears as well. They decide on names for themselves rather than being called First and Second. They leave here. They run into another bear who has a manacle. Now, he knows what the heck is going on. He escaped the clock some time ago when he realized they were killing baby bears. And then he realizes that these two young bears, the girl bear, can see into objects and see how they're put together. Like she can see where ice is weak and where it's strong, kind of thing. I can't remember what the heck her brother can do. But he realizes what they can do and that they're useful. He's hiding an old human bear containment facility. Basically, it's an old human place up north. So he sends them actually toward the clock because he thinks he can use them within there. So he doesn't care. And this is when they start fighting with each other. And I think the sister thinks, trust this guy. Her brother's not so much. Then they run into their cousin, third. He has a gift where he can see into dreams. And he can see things. And so he realized how much evil his mother is. How much she hated him. How she was going to turn him over to these other bears. And he saw the little bear cubs walking the wheel. And that the fact that they were dying. So he vamoosed. He runs to his cousins, or second cousins, and they travel together. And the two cubs are still fighting. Female goes out alone. Then she realizes, oh crap, we shouldn't be doing this. Her brother and her cousin are coming after her. They realize that the big bears have seen them because they want cubs, and they're all by this clock, and they vamoose, and they start running. And then they get to these like ice, what do they call them? Ice ribs or something. I'm not quite sure. They're over a chasm. What does she call them? Ice spines. So I'll show you, kind of see if I can get the picture up here of the ice spines. The ice spines are up here. So this is where, and then the big clock is up here, the ice clock. So they climb over that. This is when the sister uses her ability to see the how contained the ice are. They're trying to catch these cubs with a net. Don't try to. It's a fantasy. You know, like how bears can throw a net. But they get away. They're found by a snow leopard who knew their father. It's like, no, he's not off of these hunting grounds. He was the lead of this rebellion trying to destroy the clock. But then he had to vamoose. And he went south. And he's showing them how to go south. And then eventually the bears show up, who are after the cubs. He refuses to give the cubs over because he knows that they're the ones who convinced his father to come back, and their father is the only one who really understands and can lead the rebellion. So it's like the cubs, his kids will, since their mother has been captured and essentially is being held, can convince dad to come forth. And so he shows all three of these cubs, like, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to go, this is how you need to do this. He helps train them, then he's killed. And then the three bears basically start heading south. And that's the end of this specific story. What I can gather from what the Den of Forever Frost, which is the name of the next book, which is, I think, kind of where they think their father is going. But the entire point of this trilogy, because I can't remember, what's the name of the last book? Because I have the last book. The Keepers of the Keys. That's the last book. The other book, the second book is in my bedroom. But from this, I'm guessing they're going to go south. They're going to get dad. And then they're going to amass an army and come forth and destroy this thing. That is what I believe is the point. I'm guessing this has something to do with global warming, because they're talking, the entire point of the clock is, originally it was supposed to help predict when the next warming was, where the next melting, where a lot of the ice was melting, which would disrupt the life of the bears. Until some who thought, let's see if we can worship this thing and prevent this from happening. So that's kind of what they're doing. And the cub's father, which is something the snow leopard explains, realized what the heck was going on, realized this was bloody nuts, and realized the only way to do it was to destroy this damn clock. So that is what this series is about. This book specifically is a little over, close to 300. I think I'm running into, yeah, let's see, where is this? This is the end. You see the big picture of the snow leopard fighting the other bears. There's quite a few pictures in this between different things. But looks like this one ends at 229. Well, sort of 231. 230 to 231. 231 pages long. So it's a decent size. Again, it's like the Guardians of Ga'Hoole, it's centered around the age range is roughly between 9 and 12, so late elementary, early middle school. So that's kind of, you could probably go younger depending on the reading level, but again, they're talking about killing. It's not graphic, but blood is mentioned and death is mentioned and stuff like that. It's not in detail. It doesn't go into gory detail. So, a very good book series again. So if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, I do book reviews on Mondays. I do film or media reviews on Friday. I have been covering the last 2 years, covering book series as well as different theme months. This is December. I'm doing mysteries, I think. Is what I'm doing besides these guys. At least I'm doing mystery films. Coming into the next year, now, mentally I filmed these things in advance. This is being filmed at the end of April of 2023. Into 2024, because you guys will be seeing this in December. In January for book series for 2024, I'm covering the Animorphs and the Anne of Green Gables series. Those are bouncing off each other because I found out through the miracles of Reddit that I can actually get online free copies of the ebooks for the Animorphs series. Otherwise, my library didn't have them. So I was just going to cover the graphic novels, which I'm still covering, but I'm going to be covering those. I'm going to be covering Animorphs in groups of 5 because it's a huge series. But again, I'm going to be covering the Animorphs. I'm covering Anne of Green Gables, which I'll go through the entire series, which I believe ends with Rilla of Ingleside, to bounce off the Anne of Green Gables. I'm not doing a media bouncing off of the Animorphs, really, except for the graphic novels, because those were a last-minute add-on. So the Anne of Green Gables, I am covering all 3 Sullivan films, the 7 series TV series, and the 4 Sullivan films, and the 7 series TV series. Then I'm going on to the Boxcar Children, and I'm going to cover some kids' mysteries TV shows with those. And I'm just covering the first 19, the books written by the original author. And then I'm going to the Rings of, I think it's the Rings of Fire series, which has like 3, it's separated into multiple sub-series, which I didn't realize when I did this. But that is the series that are coming in 2024. Theme months, January, I'm doing some stuff with hobbies, but I'm talking more glass blowing and metalworking, kind of intense hobbies. Then I'm covering African American History Month. In February, I'm covering Women's History Month in March rather than Irish History Month, which is what I've done the last couple of years. I'm doing the Titanic in April. I'm doing Asian History Month in May, though I'm focusing a lot on Angel Island. I'm doing immigration in June, though I'm focusing a lot on Ellis Island. July, I'm doing... What am I doing in July? as it slips my mind. Women Inventors. Then I'm doing food in August. I'm doing Beauty and the Beast in September. October, I'm doing space. November, I'm doing Diwali. And then December, I'm going back to mysteries. So that is what is incoming. So if you like what you see, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I covered the Guardians of Ga'Hoole. I've covered the Wolves of Beyond. I covered Ali Finkel's School for Rules for Girls, which is a May Cabot series. I've covered the Princess Diaries, as well as the Notebooks of a Middle School Princess, and some Tamora Pierce. That's what was going on this in 2023. That's the series-wise. And I have no clue what the heck I did besides, I know I covered vaccines and LGBTQ stuff this year, and Irish American History Month, and Asian American History Month, and Black History Month. I think I did Caribbean American History Month this year as well. I think I also did some Jewish stuff and Polish stuff this past year. It's slipping my mind. It was filmed a while ago. These are some of the last videos I'm doing for 2023. So, like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one. Thank you.